The first week of the NHL 25 Off the Charts event has officially begun. Week 1's MSPs are Henrik Lundqvist, PK Subban, Bouwmeester, David Pastrnak, and Sidney Crosby. In today's video, I'm going to go through each one of the MSPs individually, give you my likes and dislikes, and rank each one individually based on stats, abilities, and more. I'm also going to give you a bit of a comparison to other players in the game right now, and how long I think these cards are going to be useful, to try to help you out on making a decision on who you should be grabbing from the event. Now, first things first, this is all subjective, of course. Just because I think a card is 10 out of 10 doesn't mean you will. And just because I say a card is must make doesn't mean you have to make them. I'm just trying to give you guys my opinion on the event. The 6 different tiers we have today start with goalies, do not make, mid, good options, great options, and must make. Now, goalies will always have their own specific tier when I'm doing these videos, because in the end, I just don't think goalies are that important. I'm still going to go through all the stats, the abilities. There are some goalies who I think are going to be better than others, but at the end of the day, they're not somebody I'm ever going to suggest that you make unless you are a fan of that team or goalie. Starting it off, we have Henrik Lundqvist of the New York Rangers. He's a 6'1" goalie with the speed boost synergy, which isn't going to do anything for him, and the gold post-to-post ability, which in my opinion is one of the best abilities a goalie can have. When Lundqvist is at 86 overall, he looks like a great card, but my main issue with him is that at 86 overall and 6'1", he only has 84 speed. For me, having high speed in the goalie is really important. The ability to move left to right, side to side. While he does have the gold post-to-post ability, having a higher speed would probably make him a better option. Lundqvist, of course, is going to go in the goalie tab. Again, if you're a Henrik Lundqvist fan, you're a New York Rangers fan, pick him up. You'll probably love using him, just like I love using Dominik Hasek. But he's just not somebody I can suggest to the general population of people playing the game. Moving on to the second MSP from this event, we're taking a look at the 86 overall, 6'4" left-handed defenseman, Bouwmeester. He has the defensive defenseman synergy and the gold shutdown ability, and personally for me, maybe the best defenseman in the entire game. With defensive defenseman synergy active, he has 90 endurance, 87 body checking, 89 stick checking. His shot's not amazing, and that's the one thing. But at 6'4" with 90 speed, a shot that's similar to Chara, hands that are better than Chara, I personally feel like I would rather have Bouwmeester than Zdeno Chara. The body checking and stick checking are comparable to Chara as well, and just in general, I think this is a must-make card. So yeah, for me, Bouwmeester 100% going in must-make. At this specific time in the year, I just don't see a defenseman that EA releases that's going to be better than Bouwmeester. Now, when it comes to Hockey Ultimate Team, Jabo has always been a fan favorite card. Gold Shutdown, one of the best abilities you can have in a defenseman, especially at this point in the year. And with his body checking high, his stick checking high, I truly do think that this card is going to be on a lot of people's teams for a very long time. Moving on to our next MSP here from the Off the Charts event, we're talking about David Pastrnak. He's a right-handed forward standing at 6'1", 196 pounds, sniper forward synergy, and the gold snipe ability. Now right off the bat, personally, I'm not a fan of the snipe ability. His endurance is very low, his skating is very good, shot's amazing, hands are incredible, and his defense and checking are very much non-existent. Well, I do think David Pastrnak is going to end up being a great card. If you're a Bruins fan, a Pasta fan, you'll love him. I do think that there's better options already in the game. For example, this Jack Eichel that everyone's going to be getting from the XP path. Skating's very similar, shots not as good, hands are around the same, checking's better, and defense is better. Personally, I'm probably playing Jack Eichel above David Pastrnak. Then we look at the Artemi Panarin. Skating similar, shots not as good, hands are better, and then the defense and the checking are around the same. They're both the same height. Realistically, I just don't see a scenario where I need to get the David Pastrnak. It's not that I think that the card isn't going to be good. He's going to be great. But if you're going to be getting the Jack Eichel, if you already have the Artemi Panarin, we have the Nathan MacKinnon that came out, who's another comparable card to the Pastrnak. A lot of people already have the William Nylander. Is David Pastrnak good enough to replace all 3 of these cards to put him in your top 6? If you're not somebody who has a bunch of these cards, right, no matter what, you're probably going to get Eichel because of the XP objectives. Everyone can get that done. But if you can't complete the Panarin, I think Pasta's a great replacement. But I just don't know if Pasta's somebody who I would make for the long-term game. For the tier list, I'm going to put Pasta in good. He is a good card. I just feel like there's better options than him. Or if not better options, just a lot of comparable options that are already in the game that a lot of people are already going to have. Now, with all of this being said, you'll always have more fun playing the game with your favorite players and using like theme team players from your favorite team. So if you like Pasta or you're a Bruins fan, make him, you'll love him. But in the end, Pasta, it's a good card. Just feel like he's very comparable. On to the 4th MSP from the Off the Charts event. We're going to talk about Sidney Crosby. 5'11", left-handed forward, 200 pounds, playmaking forward synergy, and the gold Born Leader ability. Now, Born Leader is my favorite ability in the game. It always has been. The thing about Born Leader is that anytime you get like a shot block or a big hit, your team gains energy back. Let's say Sidney Crosby's out there, your team's a little bit tired, but he ends up getting a big hit. Now that team's no longer tired, it helps you clear the puck. Let's say you're down late in the third period of a game and Sidney Crosby scores a goal. You've probably used up a lot of your energy trying to get that goal. If Crosby scores it, the entire team gets an energy boost and you're no longer tired. And with endurance being so low at the very beginning of the year where we are, I think that having Born Leader is very important. And while I absolutely love the ability, the entire card in general, to me, is awesome. Really good skating, decent shot, decent hands. His checking's not the greatest, but his defense is really, really good. 88 faceoffs, one of the highest faceoff cards you can get in the game right now. And Sidney Crosby always seems to play better than his stats indicate. He may only be 5'11", but he's hard to knock off the puck. Now, when it comes to centers in the game right now, there is not a lot of really good number one centers. I've been using this Rod Brind'Amour. He has Silver Born Leader. He's a little bit taller. His hands and shot aren't as good. But overall, Rod Brind'Amour has been on a lot of teams that I've played this year, 88 speed on him, and personally, Crosby's definitely better than Rod Brind'Amour. Another comparable would be the Saku Koivu, and while overall I do think the Koivu is a better card, he's also way more expensive than the Sidney Crosby. Right, Koivu has better skating, he has better face-offs, he still has Gold Born Leader, but the price of making Saku Koivu is almost double that of Sidney Crosby. Leon Draisaitl doesn't come close to Crosby. None of the Captain X Factors or the Charged McDavid are even close to his ability at center. And then you have Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and Matt Sundin, all of which are obviously amazing options, but they're all very expensive. For me personally, with how easy it is going to be able to get this Sidney Crosby, if you make the 81 overall version and then you do all the objectives this week and next week, you can actually upgrade the Crosby all the way to 86 by just playing the game. I feel like Crosby at this point in time is definitely a must make. I've not run into many teams that have any of the players I listed before him, right? I haven't seen a lot of Gretzky's, a lot of Lemieux, I haven't seen a lot of Saku Koivus, but I guarantee you we're going to see a lot of Sidney Crosbys after this event. And the thing is with Crosby, even if he's not your number one center for a very long time, he'll be your number two or number three for a very long time based on the way progression is going. Crosby's going to be a very good card. I am putting him in must make. Especially if you're somebody not spending money on the game and whatnot, upgrading your team is going to be difficult. Crosby's going to be one of the best cards you can have on your team for a very long time. And now on to the final MSP from the Off the Charts event. We're talking about PK Subban. PK is a 6-foot-tall right-handed defenseman at 209 pounds, the two-way defenseman synergy, and the Gold 1T ability. This might come as a little bit of a hot take, but I don't think the Gold 1T ability is necessary on any card, not just PK, but just in general. PK's got pretty good skating, great endurance on him when you have the two-way synergy on. His shot's not incredible, but it's got good power. Hands aren't amazing, and his checking and defense are very good. Now, the PK Subban card reminds me a lot of the David Pastrnak card. It's going to be great, and if you're a PK Subban fan, you're a Habs fan, whatever, you're going to love the card. But unfortunately, there's already a ton of cards that are either better or at the same level as PK Subban. For example, the 85 overall Cale Makar that a lot of people got from the pre-order. The Erik Karlsson that came out last week with Gold Elite Edges. There's also the Al MacInnis from 2 weeks ago. Thousands of people ended up getting this Mike Green either at 84 or 85 overall. And then we have the Jamie Drysdale from the XP that literally every person in the game can have. Do I think PK Subban is a bad card? Absolutely not. He's going to be great, and if you don't have all the options I listed, or you have a hole on right defense, he'll fill that hole perfectly. If you're a Habs fan, you're a PK fan, he's going to be a good defenseman. There's no doubt about that. But I definitely don't consider him somebody who's must make. I don't think he's bad, so I'm actually going to slot him in next to David Pastrnak in the good options category. If you have Makar, you can already get Jamie Drysdale. If you have Karlsson or MacInnis, if you plan on making Chris Chelios, I don't think this is a card that needs to be on your team long term. I do expect that over the next, however many weeks, we will get another few cards that are very comparable to the PK Subban. So while he's absolutely not a bad option, I just don't think he's somebody you need to have. Anyways, y'all, that is going to do it for my rankings of the NHL 25 Off the Charts event for Week 1. Let me know down below what you think of my rankings. Do you agree or disagree? I know there's going to be a lot of conversation to be had down below in the comment section. All in all, I think week number 1 for this event is actually really good for the MSPs they've given out. Let's hope that week 2 is just as good. And as y'all, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Stay frosty.